are few foods that are as universally loved as cacao. Cacao not only delivers great flavor, but it's densely packed with healthy benefits. Cacao contains a rich supply of antioxidants. Colorless polyphenols known as flavanols, is an excellent source of dietary fiber, has one of the highest known dietary sources of magnesium, and contains a host of other essential minerals. Cacao is grown throughout the world, but the farms in the Amazonian lowlands of Peru provide us with two important requirements. First, the cacao here is organically grown on small family-run farms, and second, state-of-the-art processing facilities are available that assure necessary safety and quality standards. Join us on our journey to the Amazonian lowlands of Peru, en route to find what the Mayans called the food of the gods. Today, cacao continues to be an important part of the Peruvian economy. It helps support communities where children are required to attend school and literacy rates are over 90%. The cacao plant has also provided Peruvian farmers with eco-friendly farming methods. Here, the passing of traditional farming techniques to the next generation is an important responsibility and part of family life. When we visited this farm on a Saturday, the entire family was harvesting cacao, separating the beans and beginning the fermentation process. They were also cutting back the trees and letting the cuttings fall on the ground around the base of the trees. As the cuttings decomposed, they added nutrients and natural pest control to the soil. They then composted the old cacao pods with coffee beans to create an organic soil blend perfectly suited for cacao fertilization. The mature cacao fruit is harvested when the pods change color. Navitas Naturals heirloom Peruvian cacao beans are then hand-selected and slow-dried at low temperatures. Next, the whole beans are washed with purified water to ensure maximum cleanliness. Only after our products meet the highest standards of quality and safety are they shipped to San Francisco in refrigerated containers and packaged at one of the Navitas Naturals facilities, which are certified organic and kosher. Navitas Naturals provides organic raw cacao in 7 forms: whole beans, nibs, sweetened nibs, powder, liquor, butter, and lip balm.
There was a time I used to look into my father's eyes in a happy
Since Tetteh Quarshie introduced cocoa into Ghana in 1789, cocoa has become a major income-earning crop. Cocoa contributes about 37% of Ghana's gross national product and gives employment to over 2 million farmers. Due to the revenue it brings and its color in the ripe stage, cocoa has become known to Ghana as a golden pod. Cocoa farms in Ghana are generally small family holdings with average sizes ranging from 2.5 acres to 23 acres. From the year 2000, there were media reports that the cocoa sector of West Africa, including Ghana, was rife with child trafficking and labor, with children being made to work under harsh conditions. These reports led to the promulgation of the Haken-Engel Protocol in September 2001. The protocol required the cocoa and chocolate industry to work in close collaboration with the government of West African nations to develop a system of growing and processing cocoa without the use of worse forms of child laborers. The West Africa Cocoa and Commercial Agricultural Program, WACAP, was introduced by the International Labour Organization from 2003 to 2006. WACAP revealed the existence of worse forms of child labor within the cocoa sector and proceeded to institute some remedial activities. The government of Ghana recognized the benefits of working within the framework of the Haken-Engel Protocol and proceeded to establish the national program for the elimination of worse forms of child labor in cocoa.
A lot has been done in respect of improving the lot of children in the cocoa growing areas.
The goal of the national program for elimination of child labor in cocoa is to eliminate worst forms of child labor in the sector by 2011 and contribute to elimination of worst forms of child labor in other sectors in the long term. To meet these goals, there are 7 strategic objectives to eliminate worst forms of child labor in cocoa. Others include the development and implementation of interventions for eliminating worst forms of child labor in cocoa, promotion of universal basic education and human resource development among cocoa growing communities.
We are working within a framework, what we call certification model. The certification model has 4 steps. The first is to research, what we call data collection and surveys, research, to identify the problem, the extent of the problem, the nature of the problem. Then the second, after we've known the problem, then we publicly announce to everybody the existence of this problem.
The pilot survey covered 3 cocoa regions and 6 districts and 24 communities. So we have 4 communities from each of the districts. The scale-up survey was an expanded form of the pilot.
The pilot survey found a school enrollment rate of 91% and attendance rate of 71% among children working in cocoa farms. It also found that 88% of these children live with their own parents or with close relations. About 25% of the children reported working without protective clothes and equipment, while over 60% reported carrying heavy loads. There was, however, no standard to determine what a heavy load really was.
It is about the nature of the activity and then the environment in which the activity is done, as well as the duration.
The Scale-Up Survey of 2008 revealed that 92% of children who took part in cocoa farming activities attend school regularly, and 99% of them live with their parents or close relations. It was also noted that some children still undertook activities considered to be hazardous.
For instance, children actively involved in, let's say, pesticide application. That is not permissible, can harm their long-term development.
A key activity of the National Program for Elimination of Child Labor in Cocoa is the development of a hazardous child labor activity framework. The framework is a means of accurately determining cocoa farming and processing activities that children should not be permitted to undertake. Until this framework was developed in June 2008, it was difficult to say concretely that an activity a child was engaged in was considered to be hazardous.
When you take a child using the harvesting hook to pluck cocoa pods, high up cocoa pods, you say that child is in hazardous work. Children using long cutlasses, that's adult cutlasses, we say they are. Children who climb up the cocoa trees to cut mistletoe, we say that kind of work is not suitable for children.
We have a kind of knowledge-based information through which we can use for advocacy and programs.
The results were disseminated during stakeholder sensitization workshops in all 46 cocoa growing districts in the country, at ministerial meetings and community derbies. Sensitization workshops were organized in all the 46 growing districts of Ghana, where stakeholders were informed about the nature and extent of worst forms of child labor in cocoa.
Sensitization has different aspects. We go to the districts and talk to district stakeholders. We also go down to the community and talk to community members themselves, including the farmers and community members.
Interventions have come in, and farmers are now being sensitized, and children are being encouraged to go to school.
We have intervened at that level to work with families through sensitization, but also with physical support.
Initially, we formed partnership with the district assemblies. Now, the district assemblies come out with district child protection committees, and then they discuss child labor activities.
Remediation hinges strongly on the district assemblies and the community members. Participation of the district assemblies is a means of ensuring continuity of remediation efforts through its conclusion in district medium-term development plans. Participation of traditional leaders and other non-governmental organizations also ensured that various community perspectives were captured in interventions.
In the initial stages, there was a bit of resistance because of lack of understanding. Now we've gotten to a stage that people have come to understand that it is not that, but rather don't go beyond the capacity of the child. And don't do it in such a way that it breaches the law. Don't make the child do activities that will impede the child's attendance at school or benefit from school. And don't let the child do activities that will hamper their development or their health. So the understanding has come to that level.
Currently, there is much improvement in the project that we are doing. The various communities were assisted to come out with their own action plan. And the action plans that were designed by the various communities, they are followed and it is yielding fruitful.
What we have done is to really find ways and means to put the children in school and also to let them understand the concept of children's rights.
And those who are in school, we support them with learning materials, school uniforms, pair of footwear, anything that will help them go back to school or stay in school.
Really, I could see that he's doing well. He's doing well. They have accepted it. So I don't see the children doing such works again.
Your committee no one SSNK one said 25. But they say nipa 17 there omo regular. One more hwese enkwara no ye obi ebeko school yɛnhwɛ sɛ akwadaa biara bɛne nam basabasa.
Community sensitization, we do it. The District Child Protection Committee also come around to do it sometimes too.
Wa ma wo ba nko school na wo de ne kofuo mu a watomra. Na committee no ene wa ka ho asem. Ye no ka ho asem ne tuufo na wontie a. Na wo de wa ba hemfia ha. Na wo de wo ba hemfia ha de a ye twa bo na to ho. Ne afa 100,000.
You don't just identify the children and place them and it ends there. You have to regularly visit and monitor so that you know the kind of problems they are now having and how to provide other support to help them.
Sama boy, ama blay pambua entale school atale medical school. Ama school pambua, ama bag books.
Implementation started from 2006 and we expect that it will end in 2011.
They see ankwala ne de yemfa wo mo nko efum nti edu school da ne de akwala ko no woko ana wo bekọ beba no nso na se eduru anyumre nya de a wo awofo no ko betimi akọ bi no waka se wo de wo ba ne san akọ nti yemfa wo mo nko
tia memre da na bia nko fuma no ase me kujua na duara ko si fiara de se yare ni ho de a school no de ni ho agro.
The national program has also created a partners forum which
we have a particular responsibility not only regarding sustainability, economic sustainability of the cocoa sector, but also on the social sustainability of the cocoa sector. That's why we don't know really exactly know the extent of the child labor particularly in Africa. Figures are not reliable. However, we do know that we might have a very worrying situation.
I think that in the resolution it's very good that they say that it's a shared responsibility, it's a shared problem also of child labor in the cocoa supply chain, and all stakeholders within the supply chain have to do something to remediate the problem. In the resolution there's a very concrete demand towards other states and regions. European Parliament proposes in trade agreements that they want legally binding measures when there's a breach against human rights. And there's even measures in case of infringement. So I think that's very valuable. However, I think there's still other stakeholders in the supply chain that need to do more in order to overcome the problem.
We should maybe at least study the possibility of setting up a mechanism whereby we could have a traceability of the production of cocoa products, namely chocolate, in order to have a label of child labor-free chocolate, so that consumers themselves could be responsible for addressing this very worrying situation.
Yet not them at the chair. I see a media for about go school pa I need the school. Now university, number Parliament.
More than 10 years ago, the industry made a promise to eliminate the worst forms of child labor. We're still waiting for that promise to be fulfilled, and we cannot wait for another 10 or even 20 years. I mean, things have to change now, because otherwise, for children, the future will not change in West Africa.
Which convene 3 times a year for partners to share best practices, plans and challenges in elimination of West Frontier child labor in cocoa.
And what we've been able to do in terms of sustaining the program after we leave the community is to let people understand the concept of children's rights.
Left to me alone, I will have wished it stays forever in this school.
The independent verification team did their assessment on Ghana 2008, and they have unconditionally accepted Ghana's reports. And so it means that Ghana has done very well in terms of all these activities. And we will continue to improve on our performance to make sure that all children in cocoa growing areas get access to social amenities and be able to attend school.
Ghana is truly committed to eliminating worst forms of child labor in cocoa. The children are learning the art of cocoa farming in safer ways and also attending school to add to their knowledge. Whatever it takes to ensure that children in cocoa growing communities develop safely and soundly would be done. With continued support, the national goal will be achieved.
What makes a Hershey's bar pure? Pure fun. Pure joy. Pure delicious chocolate. Pure Hershey's.